In part two of our bench build. So yesterday, if you were watching, we cut these pieces out and just roughly fit them in here, and we did some routing and rounded over the edges. Today we're going to be joining the two pieces of wood together, and we're going to do it using a biscuit joiner. So if you're not sure what that is, watch this video and you'll learn all about what a biscuit joiner is. And we're going to be gluing it, clamping it, and having a lot of fun. So I'm going to set this camera up to roll so you can just watch what's going on. And if I get a chance to explain things, I will. But if you're hanging out today, great. Glad to see you. And look forward to having you guys watch this video. So, woo, that is epic. Awesome. Awesome. Whoop, I lost my screen there. Whoop. Cancel that. Still trying to learn how this works. But yeah, Randy, how you doing? And yeah, it should be fun. So come along for the journey. I'm going to set you guys up outside, and I'm going to start moving these bench tops out there. And we'll go from there. I'm going to try a new stand here. We've got a shade. Should help. I don't have any music in the background because YouTube keeps flagging me for having the radio in the background or something, so which is hurting the visibility. So I don't know how to solve that problem. Apparently I need royalty-free music or something, and I don't know how to play that in the background, so I thought that'd be more interesting. So what I'm going to do is get this set up. Ooh, try not to throw the phone on the ground here. And we'll just move that around to help you guys see what's going on. Never mind the Jeep. Maybe I should put this in a different angle. Really not trying to showcase a Jeep here. Just trick is getting the right angle, the right wide angle for what we're doing. There you go. That should give you a pretty close thing. So, all right, let's get started. Now, if you were with us yesterday, you got to see a couple of these clamps in action. We named this one Clamp. This one's Clampy. Hey guys, how you doing? We're doing great. How are you doing? Then we got a couple more clamps. Woods and Woodsies. What do I call this one? Wood and Woody. Maybe it's Wood and Woody. Anyway, randomly, a couple more clamps to help us get this job done today. We're going to be clamping the wood together to glue it and to do the biscuit joiner thing. And if you're unaware of what a biscuit is, this is a biscuit. Looks like this. And what we do is we're going to create a slot in the wood where this is actually going to slide into it once we put the glue in there. The glue in it. We're going to slide this into where the glue is. It's going to fit into that joint. This piece of wood's going to go on, and then this piece of wood's going to go on, and that's going to keep the two pieces of wood from shifting as they get glued into place. And really, you can't get anything stronger than wood glue. Dowels or biscuits is a great way to do that, especially for a bench top or tabletop. And then worst case scenario, we've got a ratchet tie down strap so we can pull it all together. This is going to be a little tricky because it's a 90-degree shape. So it's actually really hard to clamp things together like that. So we're going to have to get creative today on how we do that. So we'll get our first piece out. Totally sure what's going to give you guys the best perspective, but I'm going to try moving it over this way a little bit. There we go. Now we've got the ice cream man going by. I hope that's not a copyright song. You know, if I get copyright infringement issues for ice cream man's going by, hopefully not. So instead of the usual pleasurable background radio music, today it's going to be all sounds of carpentry. Sounds of biscuit joiners, sounds of sanders, sounds of glue. Almost sounds like the sound of music, but I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that. Could be a copyright infringement. So instead of the sound of music, it is going to be the sounds of carpentry today. Actually, kind of like that idea. That's pretty funny. Okay, so just for fun, because you're wondering what a biscuit joiner is and how it works. So this actually has a plunge feature on it. And if you see when I do that, it plunges forward and you can see a blade sticking out. Let's see, can I show it that way? There you go. If I do that and turn it on, I can show you how that works, but I don't want to turn it on, obviously. So when that blade's extended, it's just gonna cut a nice kind of half oval. I'm gonna say half circle, but it's really more of a half oval, and that's where the biscuit's actually gonna slide in. So, and then we have an adjustment of depth right here. And this is just a good old Porta-Cable, professional power tools. Probably 20, 30 years old. Came from my father-in-law. I'm sure he used it for many projects. That or he found it at a garage sale. Don't actually remember, but we'll see. That's the sound of carpentry. I think we're gonna have a new theme song here before long. The sound of carpentry. And the other thing we're gonna have to set up too is this is the fence. Both this part and this part are the fence. This sets how deep the biscuit's gonna be in the wood. And this one is where it actually goes up against it. It's got a couple little points that help hold it in place. But what I can see is that we've got to lower it down because we were doing something probably like 1.5 inch 2x4s last time. Playing down 1.5 2x4s, if I remember right, is where it last came out. So really, take a measurement here. Our material, 1 inch. So we really want to be right at 1/2 inch. So we want the blade to be centered at 1/2 inch. And right now the blade is at the bottom of that at 1 inch. So we need to bring it up, drop this down to 1/2 inch. I have to tell you also, one of the things you don't notice when you're watching these videos is when you're on the other side of this, perspective-wise, I'm pretty sure anybody walking by thinks I'm totally nuts or crazy because I'm just talking to myself. But in all reality, I've got all of your beautiful faces there who are tuning in and watching this today. And so it doesn't seem that weird. But when you're on this side of it, let me tell you, it is very weird when people walk by and they've got a dog and they're looking at you like, who the heck are you talking to? Like, oh, don't mind me, just a crazy carpenter, just talking to my phone. Doesn't everybody do that? No, maybe not. So the first thing we gotta do is get this fence, the depth guide fence, adjusted. And we need to bring that down to where we're getting that blade that sticks out of here is right at 1/2 inch. Oh, the sounds of backpack blowers and people driving by. Ice cream trucks, dogs barking. And the sound of carpentry, what could be better, right? You're thinking, no, there's a lot of things that are better. Yeah, me too, but it's gonna get noisy. Here we go. Give ourselves a nice test cut here. Bad. I think we want to go a little bit deeper. One down. Let's see, 7 more to go. Double check, make sure we're still getting the right thing. Oh yeah. Gonna be a tight fit. Check that one, make sure we got that one right. Okay. We'll set this one aside. And we'll do the next one. So what we're doing, just so I could show you here, we've got our marks that line up with the other board, and so everywhere we put those marks on this board is where we're putting our grooves. So we've got a groove, groove, groove. That's where the biscuit's going to go. And when we bring the two together, we want them to join up. So that's why I laid out the material first and brought the two together and just did my lines across there so they're the same in theory. Luckily, there's a little bit of forgiveness with these things, so when they go in, they can move a little left and right in there if there's enough room. But we're gonna fill that with glue when we go to kind of pull it together and glue it together. So, yeah, here we go. Let's do the next ones. Let's see how we could do this for you. Try to get you in on the action shot for the sounds of carpentry. Maybe this is one of those things you put on late at night when you're trying to fall asleep. You just turn this on and listen to the sounds of carpentry. There we go. Take a look at that. There's our pocket there. It's going to slip right in there once we put the glue on it. And one of the glues I like to use, actually, in case you're wondering, is Type Bond 3 Unlimited Wood Glue. Now available at your Ace hardware store. Free commercial there. Just like that. And the other thing we're going to do actually is we're going to be adding some Craig screws underneath, and those screws are going to help to pull this joint together too, because clamping is going to be a little tricky with this. So I think we're going to run some Craig screws just for fun. So if you guys have been following along, you've seen this tool. So this is a clamp for doing Craig jig, pocket hole screws. What more do you want? Right? Well, should we do it again? Okay, I'll be honest. I'm just looking to come up with some type of cool thumbnail for the next video. So, but the way this works is depending on what material you have here, you can actually adjust it for the thickness. Hey guys, California kids are in the house. Hi guys. Figured you guys would be in the pool by now. I guess that's later, right? So for all you kids watching out there, this is completely adjustable. So we can adjust it in increments of, I think, about 1/8 inch at a time. It's adjustable. And then we can also adjust this guy here for clamping our material. So Talon knows this. He's seen this before. And also for that Craig jig clamp, we also have a special bit here that's got a shoulder cut into it, and it's got a stop on the end of it. So what we need to do is set this stop up so it's ready for 1 inch. And also we've got to set this guy up, our clamp, for 1 inch, because the product we're using today, our bench top, is actually 1 inch. So we're going to do that. We'll set it right there. When we've got it on 1 inch, we'll drop that in. That pin's going to keep it in place. There you go. It's in. And then we're going to use this other handy dandy little guide on here to find 1 inch. Take our blade off. Our drill bit. And so right now it's set for just shy of 7/8. So we need to bring it down to 1 inch. To do that, we're going to use an Allen and make that adjustment. Always exciting when the Carpenter dad has his kids watching and they're checking in, trying to figure out if dad's lost his marbles or not. And if you didn't catch the first part of it, we are talking about the sounds. You've heard of the sound of music, so now today we're talking about the sounds of carpentry. Because apparently anytime we have even radio background music or something, we're getting copyright issues. And so we can't watch people, let's see, it was 2 countries, Belarus and Russia or something. People in Belarus and Russia can't watch these videos, which I find hilarious but don't completely understand. But even just having a radio channel in the background apparently was enough to get it flagged. And I think one of our videos has been taken down altogether, but a few are just warnings, I guess. And I don't know if that's a warning like you need to remove it or what that is. But all right, so we got this adjusted now. Used our Allen key, adjusted this for 1 inch. Craig jig is ready for 1 inch. And we'll put our tool back. And we're going to get a piece of wood so we can do a test cut just to make sure we got it right. Always worth testing, just to make sure. Aim you guys down the right way here. There you go. Give you a better view. Voila. You're thinking, what is that? That right there is our pocket hole, and that's going to allow us to put screws in from the bottom at an angle, which will help pull the 2 pieces of wood together and clamp it. In theory. No, it's a pretty good theory. It works. So, okay. Now let's set this up so we can, I think we're actually done with the biscuit joiner for now. So if you're just tuning in and missed the biscuit joiner, this is the biscuit joiner. And if you missed that part of how we were doing it, there's a little blade that pops out of there. You can see it, depending on the angle I put it at. And that spins really fast. So when I set this on the wood and push it in, that blade comes out. Just barely see that. And it cuts a little half oval circle for our biscuits. These being those biscuits there, just in case you happen to miss that earlier. Oh, he says, that's right. Isn't that exciting? You never know what you're gonna learn. Every day is a new day, exciting, fun. Let's see what way works the best here. We're gonna come around here. Pull out our shims. Set those aside for now. And since we don't actually want to try to stand this countertop up like this, we can actually just take this tool, and this is going to be the top. So we want to drill our holes actually in the bottom. So we're going to come down like this. Actually, what we need to do is flip this over. Let's go to the bottom. We're going to mark this bottom just so we know for sure. B bottom. What we want to do is actually, we don't want to go where any of the biscuits are at. So we need to miss the biscuits. Line that up. Give you guys a different point of view. So you can actually see what's going on. Voila, got ourselves a couple holes, and then we're just going to do it a couple more times here. So we're going to go in between. So we've got our kind of biscuits right here. There's going to be one right here, one right there, one right there. Which is probably outside the frame of the camera, but so let's clamp it in place like this and drill the next two. So probably want to move that over just a bit. Center between those two holes. Okay, and on to our next one. Our next two. We'll do two more. Sounds of carpentry. And there we have it. So now we've got our Craig pocket holes. Really, Craig is the company that makes the jigs, but they make these pocket holes. A lot of other companies can do that too. And then we've got our slots for the biscuits. And now essentially we're ready to do some test fitting. Before we do glue, we're going to test fit it and see if we can put it together and how we're best going to clamp this together before we do the glue to make sure everything is correct and it's going to fit correctly. You know what? I was just thinking to myself, you know what we need? A dad joke. That's what we need. Hold on. Let me think about a good joke. Okay, I got one for you guys. People keep telling me I'm addicted to brake fluid, but I can't stop anytime I want. But I can stop anytime I want. Ha 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 ha. Oh, we have to try that one again. It didn't quite work. Let's see what else we got here. What's in our repertoire here? No, everyone knows that one already. Oh, here, I got a good dad joke. Ready? This is a great dad joke here. Did you hear about the guy who stole the calendar? He got 12 months. Okay, back to work. Okay, we're going to get everything out of the way so we can set this up. Turn this one back over. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, I wish I could really see exactly what was going on. Sure, you got it. So these are the two pieces we're going to be bringing together. And you can see there's these marks. And once we slide this over, not sure, it might be a little too close. We're going to line up those marks, and then we're going to clamp everything in place, glue it, and then since we've got it hanging over the edge here, if we do this right, we clamp it and make sure it's all in the same plane. We'll be able to come underneath here, and you can see where the pocket screws are at, and we'll be able to screw those in, and it'll help tighten up this joint. The trick in all this is keeping it all in the same plane, so we're going to have to check that with some straight edges. Make sure that we're not gluing it slightly uphill or something. That part, I'm gonna have to put the camera down for, but first things first, let's try some of our biscuits. And they're a little bit hard to put in, but that's probably because they're dry. There's no glue on them. So when we add the glue, it'll fit better. It'll fit together with less pressure. Just like that. And then we're gonna have to check. Yeah, see, we're getting a little bit of an edge difference there on that one. Somehow, it never fails to happen too, but sometimes you end up with one being just a little bit off, like the tool is slightly off. So we're gonna have to adjust it. Let's go over this one, because that first one was questionable. There we go. That's what we're looking for. And then what we're also gonna do is put a clamp here and a clamp there in case there's a little bit of a difference height-wise right here. So we're gonna bring one side up, one side down. And we're gonna use Woody and his brother Woody. That's Woody. Hi guys. And essentially all we're doing, obviously we're not gluing yet, but we're just testing all this stuff out so that when we have the glue, we're not kind of doing the panic like, oh no, it's starting to set up. And the glue doesn't dry very fast, probably takes 30 minutes to an hour to start to harden, but it's not a fast drying glue, so we have plenty of time. But it does help if you go through the process of figuring out where your clamps are going to be, how they're going to be, and like what you're trying to accomplish. So once these are pulled together, this will help keep it in the same plane. Not sure we can really do it on that side. We might be able to use a smaller one though. I'll pull it out. Let's see. Okay, bye-bye guys. Okay, it looks doable. I like it, and I don't think we're gonna get much closer to what we got. and it's just going to be a matter of pulling it tight. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, pull out our biscuits, and we're going to use a ton of glue here. It's going to be kind of messy, but that's the point. Ah, that'd be the sound of a backpack blower in the distance. And actually, I really want more glue in there than that. Don't be afraid of it, that's for sure. Actually, what would be easier would be if you turn this up on edge. More like this. Go. Grab a couple more biscuits. Okay, that piece is glued. And now the next thing we need to do, besides get a rag, just more gluing, more gluing. That's a glue. If you think you have enough, you probably don't. Any of the glue that squeezes out, you just let it dry, and you can chisel it off or sand it off later. It doesn't hurt anything. But it's better than not having all your surfaces covered. That is a messy process there. Okay, we're going to start bringing them together. Once they go together, they are never coming apart again. Maybe in the next remodel. And here's where the fun begins. So, let's try. We're going to try using these guys to help give us something to actually clamp to. Got the woody, I want to say woody woodpecker, but that doesn't make any sense. But there are wood clamps, so I feel like we got to call them woody wood clamps. Maybe that's it. It's woody wood clamps, brother of the regular clamps. was. That's what we wanted. And then what we have to do is just get the same thing to happen right here where the joint's open. We've got to get it to open, gotta get the close at the front. And that's gonna be a little bit tricky, so we're gonna go with our backup plan. Give you guys a little more bird's eye view of what's going on here. Let's see, one way to do it would be to hook it to itself. Be better. Now we're pulling it together. You guys a little different perspective there. So one of the challenges of doing this is making sure that we don't have two pieces that are like, you know, essentially one's kicking up this way and one's kicking up that way. We want them both to be flat. And right now we are definitely kicked up quite a bit. So we need it to pull down. Across this way. Yeah, so right now it's doing exactly that. It's pulling it up, so we've got to actually get it to pull down. So, let's see what we can do here. unscrew our strap on the bottom. We're going to use that to see if we can pull that out of it. This has got to be somewhat exciting. I mean, it could all go wrong at any moment. I mean, literally, it's live. I don't get to edit this out. So whatever happens, happens. Like if it works, great. If it doesn't work, we'll learn. And doing this, you know, in a wood shop in a controlled environment with all the right clamps and everything is definitely easier than doing it in the field for sure. And there we go, that looks better. Yeah, we are tight. Tight. We're really tight. We're probably beyond tight. We're as tight as we're gonna get it there. As tight as we can get here. So the next thing we can do is add those Craig jig screws to the bottom of it. That's going to help pull it together. And somewhere we had a straight edge, which is eluding me at the moment. There it is. Here. This around. Crank that down. Is that? Yeah, we're getting there. There we go. We just need that to be straight right across that edge. No turning back now. Next step will be a little bit harder for you guys to see, but are these Craig screws that go in the Craig holes. They're really pocket holes, but they have that little shoulder to them that's going to help pull the wood together even tighter. We're actually shoot them in from this direction. And actually, we've got so many clamps in the way, we really can't get to those other spots. So we got a couple in the center. We're pulling it together this way, and I guess we could also pull it together that direction too. So we'll throw another clamp on there. Strap. One of the things we don't want to do is have the actual strap like dig into, or the buckle part, we don't want that to dig into the surface of this. The tricky part here is we want to slide this around, so we need enough room to get it all the way around this thing. Take out a bunch of slack and then we'll pull that out later. Keep those lined up right there. Bring it out correct direction. Actually, I think we got front, we want a middle. Let's go middle here. Let's give that a try. Pulling it relatively flat. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8. Actually, could use more clamps. Let's see what do we have. We should have 1 or 2 more somewhere. Just to help kind of pull the twist out of it, just so it's not twisting on us. And we'll grab another one. Definitely never have enough clamps, for sure. That's what not to do. Oh, I forgot I took the clamps off there. I had it clamped. It's not clamped anymore, but definitely had it clamped. Beautiful. Okay, the rest of those screws we're going to put in after it's dried. So let me show you guys what we've got going on here. So we've got our two pieces together. We've got our Wood and Woodsies clamps, Woody Woodpecker clamps, and our clamp and clampy clamps, miniature clamps, more clamps, ratchet straps, lots of goo going all over the place, not a problem. And then once we get everything together, then we're going to do a whole rough sanding across everything, and then we'll be ready to do an initial rough install. So hang tight, sit back, relax. There's not a lot we can do right now except wait for it to dry, which I know that's not horribly exciting. It's not, wow, I can't wait to watch it dry. Could be right up there with the sounds of woodworking and watching a pot boil or waiting for glue to dry. I don't know. But anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a little insight to what we're doing today. It's going to be kind of a short live video because I don't think you guys want to hang around and watch glue dry. So, but I'm going to say thanks for watching, and we might turn it back on in a little bit once we get everything going on. So there might be a part, this is part 2, so there might be a part 3 to this. So make sure your notifications are turned on, and if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more live action wood carpentry. Could be fun. All right.